Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about local SEO and more specifically how to create a location page for your website using proper SEO content techniques that actually work to get that page to rank and bring in local business. So stick around. You're a local business. You might be a doctor, a plumber, a lawyer, HVAC, roofing, a restaurant, you name it. You either offer a product or a service that relies on local customers making a purchase. For many of you, you might be a service-based company that has a single location that offers your services to multiple locations. For instance, an HVAC company that offers their services in Salt Lake City where they're located, but they also offer those services to surrounding cities all around the greater Salt Lake area. If this is you, you want to be found every time a potential customer types in a keyword related to your services in one of those locations that you service. So how do you do it? Well, there are some other elements to this, including a GBP profile, Google My Business profile, citations, and getting reviews. One of the most concrete ways to build context with Google that you offer a particular service in a particular location is through creating an SEO specific location page on your website. This is a part of local SEO that's often overlooked or just poorly done. In this geolocation page guide, I will go over step by step how to create a location-specific page on your website for SEO that actually ranks. So what markets do you pick to create location pages for? One obvious method is just to identify all the locations that you offer your services in and go down the list, starting with the area that you're actually physically located in. And while it would be ideal to create a page for every single area that you service, it may not be realistic depending on how many areas you service and your budget and bandwidth to create those. Not only that, but a little strategy can go a long way in saving you time, money, and helping you focus on the right areas to create pages for. So one of the main considerations when you're prioritizing location pages to make on your website is whether or not those cities or locations have enough demand to justify the cost of creating that page. This is where keyword research becomes invaluable in helping you know where to focus your digital marketing efforts. Keyword research can have a ton of benefits in any digital marketing campaign, but in this specific location page built for SEO, it has two main purposes. Number one is geographical market research. By seeing how many monthly searches happen for your specific product or service in a specific city or location, you can see the demand for your services in these different markets. This can help you prioritize which location pages to build, or it might give you ideas on new areas to offer your services where you might not have been doing it before. And the second main reason for doing keyword research on a location page like this is to find the actual search terms that you can win. We're big proponents of not just finding the highest search volume keywords, but finding keywords that you can actually win. And the truth is, depending on how long you've been in business, how big your website is, and your current online presence, there might be some keywords that you just can't win yet. So focusing on the ones that you actually can win can build SEO wins all along the way as you work towards those higher search volume keywords. Let me give you a couple of quick examples of how to do that keyword research using a tool like SEMrush. So if we head on over to SEMrush, you're going to want to go to the left-hand side and go to this SEO tab and go down to this keyword magic tool right here. And this is where we're going to enter in a keyword. So to do this exercise, you are going to need your main list of keywords for your website that have some of your best search terms. For instance, if we're going to use HVAC as an example, like I have already, we would need to know if your main terms are HVAC, if it's more about, air conditioning or furnace, plumbing. Maybe it's a mixture of all three or four. Again, having done keyword research for your site, you'll know better about which terms you want to target that best reflect the services that you offer. But once you have those terms, the easiest way to go forward is to just simply use one of those terms with one of your locations attached and see what the keyword data shows you. And then we could go down the list and just do that for every city or market that you already have targeted. And you likely know which cities are probably bigger than others. So there is some of that market research that's just going to be intuitive. But you might be surprised. There might be some markets that have more interest in your services than others, and this will help you to find that. So for instance, in this HVAC example, if we just type in HVAC Utah, when I do this for the locations, I do like to have it in the broad match category. You can go over to related. I would stay out of exact match or phrase match because unless you've identified every variation of your service as keywords, so HVAC, right? Could be plumbing, electrical, AC, or furnace. Unless you've identified all of those variations, phrase match and exact match are only going to give you terms that include exactly what you typed in. I like to give it a starting point. Let SEMrush give me some additional ideas of some other keyword variations that might be helpful. So that's how I would do this. So for instance, HVAC Utah, I've already gone ahead and clicked volume as the filter. So it's going to give me the highest search volume terms starting first. Usually with location pages, the competitiveness of those terms is a lot less than national terms. So you already have the benefit of being a local business doing SEO, where you're going to crowd out a lot of the competition that is not doing SEO at all. So the difficulty is going to be lower just by nature of you even doing this at all. You're going to have a major advantage on your competitors. So if we go look at this list, okay, the first ones that come up are HVAC St. George. This is interesting. Let's say my company is in Salt Lake City. That's in northern Utah. St. George is actually in southern Utah, the other end of the state. So unless you have an office down there, this is probably out of the scope. But interestingly, there is quite a bit of search volume for that term in St. George. Again, this might give you ideas of some new markets to enter potentially. But otherwise, you can see right here, I've got some names right off the top of the list. HVAC Utah, we've got Logan, we've got Ogden. So we've already got some cities here that are being listed. From here, you could click on Ogden, HVAC Ogden, Utah. And it's going to give you some more ideas. So this is where you can get some ideas of, okay, here's some variations of the keyword. Say HVAC was my main one, but we've got HVAC contractors. We've got contractors HVAC. There's also HVAC repair. Now, as you go down that list and these become longer and longer keywords, the search volume is going to go down, but I wouldn't let that deter me. This search volume right here, people searching for this, they are looking exactly for a company like you. So even if you're only targeting terms that get about 20 to 100 search volume, there's basically no difficulty. That's what this KD column is the difficulties. So even the one with 200 searches a month, it's only a KD difficulty of 19. This is a scale from 0 to 100. Anything under about 40 is a really good place to be unless you're a massive company that has a huge presence. You can start going after KD 50 keywords and above. But if you're a local business, you likely have a small website. I would start with a KD of about 40 or below. This is 30 extremely specific searches a month looking for a company just like you. So you might want to include that keyword on your list of keywords for that location page that you're making, just to try and capture all the traffic that you can. And that's one important thing to go over right now is when you pick a location page to create for SEO, you don't just pick a single keyword. When you're creating your list of keywords, you want that list to be about 5 to 8 keywords long, maybe 10, depending on how many great keywords you find while doing this part of the exercise. If you find a lot of really great variations of keywords, like I said, AC, plumbing, repair, all those things that can go in there, I would start to prioritize my keywords, right? It might be prioritized by search volume. Maybe your main keyword is that HVAC and Ogden term, but then you're including these other secondary keywords that you can include in headings on the page. It could be alt text for images. We have another video that talks about how to optimize a page for keywords that we'll also link to probably at the end of this video. You're going to want to use probably 5 to 10 different variations of your main keyword to, again, have maximum exposure. If we go back to this, there's no need to make an individual page for contractors HVAC Ogden in addition to HVAC Ogden. It would be your HVAC Ogden page, but you'd also include areas on your page where you include keywords like HVAC repair, HVAC supply, HVAC service, contractor, HVAC contractors. That's sort of the methodology that you would use when doing keyword research. So you'd want to find the location that has good search volume, and then you're going to want a list of about 5 to 10 keywords that you can then implement throughout that page, the different sections that we're going to talk about next. Once you've done that keyword research, you've identified some of the cities that you want to make pages for and also the variations of keywords you want to include. The next step is making sure you have the right information on that page to make it effective. While optimizing for SEO is a big part of making these pages, if you make it just for SEO and not for the consumer once they get there, this won't work. We get clients that come in all the time that have a list of 10, 20, 30 location pages on their site, thinking they've done their SEO correctly, only for me to go look at those pages and realize that they don't have hardly any information on them, or the information that they have is copied and pasted from page to page. Each location page for SEO that you make has to be unique, and it has to deliver on what makes your company special and different from the other companies in the area. Think of these location pages like mini home pages for each individual location. If someone enters your site through one of these location pages, it's likely their first experience with your company. Including the same type of information that you would have also on an effective homepage will also work really well on these pages. While the actual meat of the content on each of these pages will differ based on location and what's unique to that area, some of the sections will be quite similar, and using AI like ChatGPT to help you rewrite the content in a unique and original way is one fantastic way to scale production of location pages across multiple areas. All right, let's get into each of the main sections to include. So I've pulled out a couple of examples that we can use for this. We're going to go through each of these pages and kind of show you how it relates to what I'm going to talk about with these individual sections that need to go on these location pages. And again, it's not going to be cut and dry for every company depending on the services that you offer, but generally these sections will work. So for this first example, I'm actually going to use our own company, right? We practice what we preach. We are actually a national global company. We offer services across the US. We even offer services in the UK, Australia, but we've also found the benefit through keyword research of doing some local pages for a local market here in Utah where we're located. While location pages are a local SEO tactic, it doesn't mean that national companies can't also take advantage of local pages when it makes sense. And so to back up my claims of these different sections that I'm going to tell you to include, I'm also going to show you the results that we've had on this page. This page is relatively new. We only actually made this page maybe 7 or 8 months ago. And if you look at it on SEMrush, you can see that we started out, we gained a bunch of keywords. We ranked for 123 keywords. This is estimating we're getting about 130 visits a month from this page. We have 3 keywords in the top 3, 33 keywords in the top 10, 13 in the top 20. Again, this page is done really, really well. You can see some of the terms that we have that are in the top 10 are Utah SEO, Utah Search Engine Optimization Services, SEO agencies in Utah, Utah SEO marketing. These are all extremely relevant terms to us. And you can see there's quite a bit of search volume. So even though we're a national company, we went ahead and made some local pages for it. And then as a second example, I'm going to take an actual local company that offers local services. It's an RV park that we've helped down in southern Utah. This RV park has a single location, and they wanted to target different cities and attractions that are nearby where their RV park is. For instance, they're really close to Zion's National Park. They're also located in Tokerville, which is really close to St. George, which is a larger market, as I kind of showed you before. So they've made some individual location pages for an attraction as well as different cities. So I'm going to show you one example today of this location page for St. George for these guys. Just to give you a quick example, this page also is pretty new. They currently rank for 60 keywords. It says about 5 organic traffic. We're still working on getting these keywords up into the top 10, but keywords are all extremely relevant. You can see right here, RV park in St. George. That is the term that we're targeting. We are ranking for that term. St. George RV parks in St. George. Okay, some different variations of RV park and St. George, but they're right around the top 20 mark, getting close to the top 10 where they'll actually start getting some traffic and where they have 60 relevant keywords on a brand new page on a relatively small website. This is already a huge success, and we expect as we continue to do more work for them, they'll start to get in the top 10, the top 3 for these same terms. All right, the very first section you want on your page is you want an appropriately named title. So this will be the easiest thing you do all day. If we go back to this Utah SEO page that we created, literally your title follows the format of the main service or main keyword plus the location you're offering it in. So in this instance, ours is SEO company paired with Utah. We need some variation of Utah SEO company on this page. I complicated this just a little bit to add a few more words like business, also get our brand name in there, but this could have just been labeled Utah SEO company : BKA content. To give you an example of a more simple version, the RV park is just called RV park near St. George. Super simple. And if you're not sure how to check what the H1 is on your page, if you just highlight the text and right click, you can go down here to inspect to see the HTML of the page. And if it's surrounded by these H1 tags, that means it's your page title. You only want one of those per page. Every other heading you have on this page will be an H2 or an H3 structure, but that's how you name your page. Next section is an introduction and a hook. You want to quickly summarize what it is that you do so consumers know exactly who you are, and number 2, hook them to keep them reading further down the page. And there's a few different ways to do this. On these pages, I have a couple different examples. For us, I like to use a question answer, point out a problem, offer a solution sort of scenario. So you can see that's what we've done on our Utah page. We're going to talk about your problem and what it is that we do to fix it. On the RV park section, it's slightly different. They have more of an introduction and also just kind of a claim. We're the best RV park near St. George. Something that makes them want to keep reading. Why are they the best, or how can they fix my problem? In addition to that hook, you want to have your keywords as close to the top of that section as you can. So again, St. George is in here. And it doesn't have to be that exact keyword in the exact order you maybe found it when you did your research. You can use variations of those terms: RV park, St. George, RV resort. And from a local perspective, if there's any reason why your service would differ in this location as opposed to others, putting that near the top of the page is also going to be something important. This gives additional context to Google about who you are. It also shows that you have local knowledge. A great example of this is on this RV park page below that introduction and hook. They have a section about things to do in St. George, right? If you're going to visit an RV park, you're there for probably camping or some nearby attractions. So they are kind of pointing out some attractions that are in St. George that have to do with, outdoor adventures or eating or shopping, depending on the reason that you're staying at that park. There's a few different ones that mention specific St. George locations that are unique to that area. Now, before I go into the next point, let me share something with you really quick. You're already investing time to learn SEO and digital marketing by watching this video, so why not take the next step? Join our free Skool community where you have access to courses, valuable resources, and support from other business owners and marketers, including us. If you want to check out that community, check out the link that I have in the description below. It's free to join, so what do you have to lose? All right, now that we're past the title and the introduction, the remaining sections, it's not so much about where you put them on the page as much as it is just that you put them on the page. I'm going to go through a few examples of sections that we've included that help optimize A, keywords that you would want to include on this page, and B, reinforcing the location where these services are offered. So I'm just going to track down each of these pages and talk about the sections that we have included and why we included them and what you might do to include them on your own page. So if we go back to the BKA Content Utah SEO company page, below our introduction and hook, we have a specific part that talks about what sets us apart as an SEO company. Now, this is as much an SEO play as it is just a copywriting play, something that tells them who you are, what you do different, what you do better than anybody else. It's also a fantastic place to use keywords like SEO company or digital marketing company or best Utah SEO company. Those are all keywords that I found that I included, but obviously made sense in this section. It's also just a great place to tout what makes you so great, right? This is some of your social proof. So we've included some of our stats of results that we've gotten for our clients through our SEO efforts and our content writing. The RV park has a similar section, again, not in the same spot, but down at the bottom, they talk about why choose, their RV park near St. George. And, they have oversized spaces, pull-through sites, trail access, other amenities that are at the resort. They're labeling them here. So once you've covered what makes you different, probably the next most important section to have on this page are the different services that you offer in that location. We offer the same services no matter where you are. That being said, it still builds additional context that I do this thing in this location if I include it on this page. So you can see right here, we have a list of kind of our main services. We offer more sub-services than this that are included in each of these categories, but I've gone in and added kind of the main categories of services that we do that have good keyword research behind them. And what I'm including is the name of the service. And then throughout here, I'm including cities in Utah throughout each of these. So you can see even right here, Utah Local SEO, right? I'm making that local to Utah. We do local SEO for Utah companies, and we've gotten a lot of local Utah companies to use us. So you'd want to include a section like this if you offer multiple service types. And the other thing that's really important to do is this is a really good spot to add some internal linking to those other service pages on your site. These location pages that you're making are incredibly important, but just as important are your main overall service pages. The same way that on your location page, you're mentioning all of your services, on your service page, you can mention all of your locations. And if you have those two pages kind of link back to each other, it can help build some rapport with Google that these are important pages on your site. And not only that, they have commercial intent, which means people that find these pages are generally looking for information on a brand or they're ready to purchase. So these are important pages. You don't want these to get lost in the ether of Google crawling and indexing. So creating an internal linking structure can help you to solidify to Google that these pages are in fact important. So if you see right here on SEO content strategy, I've created a link to our SEO content strategy page. And the same for all these other ones too. It might go to our on-page SEO services, et cetera, et cetera. So I've done that with all of these main services. I try to keep it between about 5 and 10. You don't want to put all 100 services here. Even what we have here is maybe slightly too much. You have to kind of scroll through it, but they were all important keywords that had Utah in the name where there was actual search volume when I did the keyword research. So we felt like it was extremely important to do that. After that list of services, you might want to talk about what your process is, what customers can expect if they work with you. So for us, we go through and talk about here's how you get set up. Here's how we would work with you with our team. Again, giving them some insight into how I get started. And from there, that's a great place for a CTA, a call to action of here's how we work with companies, learn more, or contact us to find out the next steps. And if we go back to the RV park website, they have a similar section with, again, it's kind of a main CTA. Getaway to our RV park. Here's some information about how to do it. Plan your stay, click here, and you can book your reservation. Now, the next section is optional, but I feel like this is important, especially from a conversion standpoint, is including some case studies of people that have had success using your services, right? You just talked about what it is that you do and how people work with you. Now show the results those people have gotten when they have worked with you, right? And here's another place to kind of tout all the things that you do well. But again, you're getting additional keywords. Now I'm adding in, SEO and the term results, as well as small businesses. I'm adding more context, talking about my target market, who I work with, and the results that I've gotten for those people. Not only that, I'm adding that location again and again, showing Google that not only do I do SEO for small businesses, I do it for Utah small businesses, adding that additional layer that helps you to actually rank for those terms online. In the age of AI search, having a brand that can be mentioned everywhere is really, really important. And putting a face to a name if you're a small business is actually really, really important. I would encourage every local small business to have a section that talks about meeting who it is that owns that business, because you represent that business. You are going to have an About Us page likely where you'll go into that in depth, but I still think having a small section on your homepage and your location pages that talks about who you are, lets people meet you, get to know you a little bit, can help build just an additional rapport and trust when they've seen a face behind the name of the business. And then last but not least, this has become incredibly important in the age of AI search. And what I'm talking about are FAQs. In the last couple of years, AI search has changed a lot about how agencies do SEO, including ours. The fundamentals of SEO content have remained the same, but the way that you package that content and deliver it and where you put it on your website has changed slightly in some instances. One of those areas where it has changed a lot is in the FAQ section of your website. It used to be that on a website, business owners would put a small section in their top nav where there was an FAQ page that customers could go to, where they would get answers to anything and everything about your company. It could be answers about specific pricing questions, specific services, locations, everything all at once in one single place. In the age of AI, having an FAQ page that lives alone away from every other page on your site is actually a massive mistake. While that information is still helpful for customers, it's more helpful if those questions live on the actual page where they might have that question. In the case of a location page, being a mini homepage for your site in that location, you would want to include high-level questions about the main services that operate in that location. So anyone from Utah that's asking about SEO would have answers to Utah-specific questions. The same could be true on your service pages. For instance, if I go to our website and go to our SEO blog writing page, at the bottom, you can see we have an FAQ section that has everything to do with SEO blog writing. What might somebody ask? How much does it cost? Does it benefit my business? How often do I publish the posts? How long does it take to see results from those posts? Do I need to provide my own keywords? Do you guys do the keywords? Do you do tracking? Anything like that that's related to blog writing specifically, we've included in a specific FAQ section on this page. So if we go back to the location page, my page is covered high-level stuff about my site, my main services. I'm going to talk about SEO in general. What is Utah SEO? How does SEO help my Utah business? How much does a Utah SEO company cost? These are all questions that are related to someone that might type in Utah SEO company on Google, right? These are natural next questions. So how do you create an FAQ that answers the right questions for a location page like this? Well, there's a couple ways that you can do this. You could do your own keyword research. You could get onto SEMrush or any other keyword research tool and kind of sequentially go down the list. There's some additional features on those keyword research tools as well that helps make that a little bit simpler. Or you could just go to Google if you don't have access to a keyword research tool like SEMrush and just type in the term and see what the frequently asked questions are that come up on the Google search itself. But the third way, and in my opinion, the best way, is to utilize AI technology to reverse engineer what people are already asking. And here's one way that you can do this. On this page, I've created a prompt that you can put into ChatGPT that allows you to generate a list of about 10 FAQ questions as a starting point to include on your specific location page. And what's beautiful about this is most AI search tools use a query fan-out process where when you ask it a specific question, it answers your question as well as 5 or 6 or 7 other additional questions it thinks you might also ask next. So you're asking the GPT to comb its own database to find frequently asked questions to give you pointed targeted questions that it would look for to answer on its own. And when you include these questions on your website, now you've included all the relevant information to be cited in an AI overview or in an AI search response. And if you'd like a copy of this, you can either pause the screen right now and take this and use it, or I'll include this actual script in my description below. So for this example, this top one is the template. The bottom one is me adding in my company specific information, bkacontent.com, Utah's my location. Here's my primary keyword, some of my secondary keywords. And then all I'm going to do is going to take this prompt, go over to ChatGPT, and we're just going to type it in and press enter. And from there, we've got 10 optimized FAQs to start with. Again, AI says it's optimized. I would never take anything from AI and just completely copy paste it, but it usually does a pretty good job getting you a nice skeleton. And then from here, you could go in and make sure that it is keyword optimized, that it does accurately reflect your business. The last thing you want to do is include incorrect information in your FAQ section. But if I do a quick scan of these questions, they look pretty good. What does a Utah SEO company like BK Content actually do? Why should I hire a local SEO company in Utah instead of a national agency, which is a little bit ironic because we are national, but we would be local to anyone searching for us in Utah. What industries do we serve? It has digital marketing in there. That's a nice keyword variation. How does our service differ from other SEO companies? That's something somebody might ask if they were comparing different companies. What types of SEO services do they offer? I mean, these look really good, and that took me all of 5-10 seconds to put that together and put that in there. So feel free to use that and get started on getting an FAQ section up on your pages. All right, that's it. That's how you create a location-specific page for your website for SEO. Remember, now that you've built your page, you're not done yet. It's time to optimize it. This includes using keywords and headings, in alt text and images, in your URL slug, and evenly throughout the content. So if you haven't already, make sure you watch this video right here where we go over exactly how to optimize content for SEO, and we'll see you over there.